I'm Barbara Gregorich, author of the early reader Waltur Buys a Pig in a Poke. Each of the three stories in this book explores an idiom, always in a humorous way. The star of the books is Walter, a bear. His two best friends are Matilda, a groundhog, which is the same as a woodchuck, and Darwin, another bear. You can see the three characters on the cover of the book. Before I read one of the stories, I need to explain two things. First, what is an early reader? Well, it's a book for children ages 5 to 7, one that they read themselves. It's more advanced than a picture book, but not as long or complex as a chapter book. Children do not stay in the early reader stage long, maybe 3 to 6 months, and then they're able to advance to easy chapter books. But because early readers are the first books that children read on their own, they grow very attached to them and often remember them fondly all their lives. Think of such books as Frog and Toad stories, or Nate the Great, or Henry and Mudge. Second, I need to explain idioms. Briefly, an idiom is a figure of speech, and in figures of speech, words do not mean literally what they say. They mean something else. For example, if you said, "I'm going to hit the hay," you do not mean these words literally. You do not mean that you're going to take a stick or a paddle and whack a pile of hay. What you mean is that you're going to sleep. An idiom is a particular figure of speech that imparts wisdom. Idioms are most often hundreds of years old, some are 2,000 years old, and are based on the daily expressions and experiences of common people. Here, for example, is an idiom that is 2,000 years old. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. People have been saying that for 2,000 years. And the saying does offer wisdom. If you doubt that, then read the second story in Waltur Buys a Pig in a Poke. The three idioms in this book are: don't buy a pig in a poke, don't count your chickens before they're hatched, and you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I wrote these stories because I fear that in today's world, people are able to repeat idioms because they've heard them many times, but they don't know what the idioms mean. They've lost touch with the culture that produced them. And so I wrote the stories to illustrate to children what these sayings mean. Here then is the first story, Walter Buys a Pig in a Poke. Walter scratched his fur. He patted his paws. He clicked his claws. "You are thinking," said Matilda. "What about?" "A pet," said Walter. "I want a pet." "Why?" asked Matilda. "You have me." "You are too smart to be a pet," said Walter. "Thank you," said Matilda. "You don't come when I call," said Walter. "You never fetch my slippers, and you never do tricks," he said. "I want a pet who does what I say." "Pets aren't like that," said Matilda. Just then, someone pounded on the door. It was Darwin. "There's a fair in the forest," said Darwin. "There are rides and games and animals." Walter clapped his paws. "Are there pigs?" he asked. "I think so," said Darwin. "Good," Walter said. "I will buy a pig for a pet." "A pig will come when I call," said Walter. "It will fetch my slippers. I will teach it tricks." "Pigs are dirty," said Darwin. "Pigs are smart," said Matilda. The three friends went to the fair. "I will go on rides," said Darwin. "I will play games," said Matilda. "And I will buy a pig," said Walter. "Be careful," said Matilda. "Do not buy a pig in a poke." "What's a poke?" asked Darwin. "A poke is a bag," Matilda answered. "You cannot see through a bag. You should not buy what you cannot see, she said. Matilda went to play games. Darwin went to go on rides. Walter went to buy a pet. Want to buy a pig? Asked a skunk. Walter saw that the pig was in a big bag. Walter scratched his fur and thought hard. No, he said at last, I know better than to buy a pig in a poke. Want to buy a pig? Asked a bobcat. Walter saw that the pig was in a big sack. No, said Walter, I know better than to buy a pig in a poke. Want to buy a pig? Asked a fox. Walter saw that the pig was in a big, big box. Is it a smart pig? Asked Walter. It is very smart, said the fox. Can it fetch slippers? Asked Walter. Sure, said the fox. Can I teach it tricks? Asked Walter. Why not? Said the fox. I'll buy it, said Walter. Walter pushed the big, big box home. Matilda and Darwin helped. What is in the box? Huffed Darwin. My new pet, huffed Walter. What does it look like? Huffed Matilda. I don't know yet, said Walter, but a box is not a bag. I did not buy a pig in a poke. We will see, said Matilda. When he got home, Walter opened the box. Out jumped the pig. It was very big. It was very, very dirty. Hot dog, said the pig. Home. The pig ran through the house. It broke a lamp. It smashed a table. It ate Walter's lunch. Hot dog, said the pig. It sat in Walter's chair. Bring me the paper, said the pig. No, said Walter. Fetch me some slippers, said the pig. No, shouted Walter. Do some tricks, said the pig. Grrr, growled Walter. Oink, oinked the pig. You are not what I wanted, said Walter. Too bad, said the pig. I wish I had seen you before I bought you, said Walter. I was in a box, said the pig. You couldn't see me. You bought a pig in a poke. Oink, oink. What am I going to do? Asked Walter. He sat on the floor and thought. More food, said the pig. Darwin gave the pig a hot dog. Good bear, said the pig. Bring me the paper, said the pig. Darwin brought the paper. Fetch me some slippers, said the pig. Darwin fetched some slippers. They were Walter's slippers. Good bear, said the pig. The pig patted Darwin on the head. What a wonderful pet, said Darwin. Wonderful? Asked Matilda. Yes, wonderful, Darwin said. I wish I had a pet like this. Walter stood up. You may have my pig, he said. Really? Asked Darwin. Hot dog, said the pig. Yes, said Walter. It is your pig now. The pig can have my slippers too, said Walter. Hot dog, said the pig. Thank you so much, said Darwin. Let's go home, said the pig. The pig and Darwin went home. Walter cleaned up his house. Matilda used the box to make a table. They made a new lunch and ate it. I guess I should have looked inside the box, said Walter. I guess so, said Matilda. Someday I will buy another pet, said Walter. What about you? He asked. Do you want a pet? No, said Matilda. I have you.